Today, savory goodness with waffles smeared in goat cheese, covered with sautéed mushrooms and shallots, and a shot of Madeira, and enough for leftovers too. My guest in the Dinner DeeAs kitchen today is Chef Anne Kearney. She's a James Beard Award winner, mentored in business by none other than Emeril Lagasse. And her motto is food of love.
Why not, right?
Why not? And why not be joining us today for the first time inside the Dinner DeeAs kitchen? We're so excited to have you.
I'm tickled to be here. Thank you so much.
Chef Anne is the founding chef and a partner at Oak Ola and Tampa's Armature Works. Assertive flavors prepared with an assured lack of fuss. It's how the Michelin guide describes it. And you're sharing a recipe today for an at-home version of a dish which is, let's just face it, and I'm going to be honest, was my favorite dish on the menu. Maybe it needs to come back after this. It's the buttermilk waffle with a goat cheese smear to it there with the sautéed mushrooms and the shallots. So this was an OG.
Yes, it was.
All right, so let's bring it all the way back here and really kind of revel in these beautiful flavors. How do we get this dish started first?
Well, if you're going to make this at home, you would want to start with something that you could set aside while you're getting other parts ready. So we're going to kind of go in that order today.
Okay.
So this waffle mix, when you make the waffle mix, you want to use it before the day is done. So we're just going to get this done, and in theory you would put it in the refrigerator, but we're not going to need to do that.
Okay.
So we have some all-purpose flour, some cornstarch. Cornstarch aids in getting it crispy on the outside like a Belgian waffle would typically be.
Now, do we need to have a James Beard Award to be able to make this dish?
Absolutely not.
No.
I knew how to make waffles before.
Okay.
I was a professional cook, so yes, that.
No Bisquick for you then, miss.
No Bisquick for me. So I just added baking powder, baking soda, salt, and a little bit of white pepper. Because it's a savory waffle, if you want to use the same waffle recipe and not put any pepper in it and maybe decrease the salt a little bit, feel free to do so. But in this case, you want it to have not a sweet edge, but more of a savory edge.
Side to it there. Interesting.
And
okay.
So this flour, the dry mixture has been mixed together here. I'm just going to put this up here for a second just to do so. And then we'll add the egg yolks, and the eggs, excuse me. As long as the eggs are whipped, a little bit beaten with a fork, you're in good shape.
Okay.
Buttermilk. Who doesn't like buttermilk in their waffles and whatnot?
I feel like that's like a must-have. Like a really good waffle needs to have buttermilk in it.
I agree.
Like, it just needs, like, if you're not going to go all the way, then just don't do it. But like, do it the right way.
So we're combining all the liquids, and this was our avocado oil. I have personally at home, and as much as possible at the restaurant, moved away from using seed oils.
Okay.
I personally in my home I use avocado first and foremost for cooking, and then olive oil gets used quite a bit as well.
What was the purpose for you getting rid of seed oils? What did you find?
As I get older, I'm just finding there's more bad things going on with lots of products in the world, and how they're handled and how they're manufactured.
Sure.
And I'm just trying to keep myself going. But anyway, so then we take our wet mixture and we add it to the dry, just like you would do in most waffle making or pancake making as well. And then we're gonna put this over here. We'll just mix this together. You don't want to over mix it really, but you want to make sure the wet combines with the dry. This is something that you can.
Is there a danger of like over doing it? Is there or even underdoing it? What's the danger there?
Well, if you underdo it, you'll have lumps of dry goods, and if you overdo it, you'll just have a really thoroughly mixed item. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you the exact difficulties you would run into.
So just don't do it, though. Just
don't do.
Just get it right.
You just want to. Well, just like with baking with muffins and scones, you don't want to work it too much. So I'm going to go over here and get started on the goat's cheese, if that's okay.
Perfect. Chef Anne's idea for your dinner is easy to find on our website, dinnerdeeas.com. You can grab a printable version to cover in flour and oil, and maybe even burn a little around the edges too. To get us there quickly, though, scan our QR code to do that. Open the camera up on your phone and point it right there. You just need to zoom in. You might have to do that, but you'll know when it's seen because a link to us will appear on your phone. So now we're going to go into this goat cheese here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
My suggestion to you would be really temper your goat's cheese, meaning bring it to room temperature, maybe let it sit out for an hour, maybe 2 hours, just to make it easier for you. there is an option on the actual printed recipe for you to
And why not
use
just
a
plain
mixer.
goat cheese? Like,
well, you can do just plain if you'd like.
okay.
We like how this is a little bit more smearable. Think about restaurant where we can't leave things out at room temperature because it's not good for the well-being of most people involved, and the health department doesn't allow it to either. So
that pesky health department always coming in the way there.
You know, like, and if you could say this could stay out for 4 hours, and there's a timer set for the goat's cheese. And,
sure.
But it's just easier for us to go from cold or slightly above or slightly below room
So it's just
temperature.
easier to spread. It just has a little bit more movement behind it, so that way then you can get that beautiful smear to it.
Yes, and because even when it chills up, it'll be more smearable.
Okay.
Okay, so I might be asking you to grab that whisk over there. What I typically do is whisk this or do this by hand, but if you're not in the mood to do all this action, then you can do it with a mixer, with a blender, which will make it super easy, but you'll be learning so many more pieces of equipment. I think I might get there. Just give me a second here. But you could do mascarpone, or you could do ricotta. If goat's cheese isn't your jam, like I happen to love goat's cheese, and I like the savoriness it adds, and it adds a little funk to something.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Yours is the only time I actually like goat cheese. Like, this dish is the only time that I really actually enjoy it.
The mushrooms that seduced you.
It's the mushroom. Well, yes, I do love my mushrooms, but it's just because it's just that little bit of that tanginess behind it complements it, whereas sometimes, like, goat cheese for me is just, like, so much. But this is, like, the perfect balance.
The perfect balance. I love it. I love it. So we're going to actually go ahead and use this. Oh, I won't use that one. Grab me one of yours if you don't mind. I love having somebody to order around. Awesome. It's lovely.
Your whisk is my command.
Oh my gosh, you were so full of them. I love it. He's a funny guy, y'all. He's making all kinds of jokes around here. We're going to put that up there. Oh, yes. So adapt your recipes, okay? You can mix it with a spoon or a whisk. And see, here we go. It's nice and creamy. And I pinched a little salt and pepper. Be careful with your salt.
And you used white pepper again for this one.
Yes, I like to season white with pale things. I learned that from my mentor, John Neal. That was the way he did things. He did not, like on a scallop and a chicken breast or a piece of fish, you would never think of putting black pepper on it. And that's the way the French taught him. And so I learned from him, and blessed to have had his influence in my life, for sure.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So is that done? Is that to your liking where you need it to be?
That is to my liking, yes.
Okay.
That is to my liking, for sure.
And so that can sit for a little bit here?
Absolutely. Now, if you're going to make it a day in advance, which it's okay to break down your prep for some labor-intensive things and get them done the day before, and then pull this out maybe an hour before you need it.
So what's next here?
Okay, well, we're going to get a little bit of our avocado oil again, real neutral oil. We have a preheated pan here. Put that aside. Okay, so we're just going to get our shallots going. Turn that up for me, because I know this is your stove item. I would have to figure out how to do that.
Don't you worry, I got you. So we're just going to bring it up to about a medium-high heat now.
These shallots have been peeled and then cut into about 1/4-inch thick strips. There's some that are 1/8, there's some that are 6, but you know, just to kind of get them in small pieces. As they wilt down, they'll be easier to get into your mouth, and there'll be a small enough piece that you won't be like dropping things out of your mouth. Because you know, if you want to get a little bit of this, a little bit of the waffle, and some goat's cheese, and the mushroom all combined on there.
It's all about that harmony.
Yes, it is.
All about balance and harmony.
I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in here.
Okay.
And probably ultimately I'll end up seasoning this at the end with this black pepper that's over here, but this was right here, so I grabbed it.
I like it.
It's okay.
How important is it just to be able to like say what you have and to be able to make that part of your dish? Like that right there was just, I'm going to add that because it's right there.
Well, I mean, in this case, it's going to be a darker color in the finish, and I know that, so I felt like it was okay for me to do that.
I love it.
I have white and black, and when I travel, I take my salt and peppers with me, or my peppers at the very least.
Now, do you travel with like a special like bag for it? Does it go through like its own like TSA and just like
no? It's
carrying
just like one quarter
box.
of my luggage usually is cooking things, especially if you're going somewhere that you're cooking.
Yeah.
When I go home for the holidays, I take a few things. My family has nice things, but there's specific things that you like to use. Okay, this Madeira has been on the stove warming through. So Madeira is a wine from the Madeira, the Portuguese island of Madeira.
Now, Chef Anne, before we start filming, you said, "Hey, Jeff, please, will you light this on fire for me?" I was like, "Yeah, I'd absolutely love to." So, why did I do that?
You want to burn off the alcohol, the raw alcohol flavor.
And the hairs off my fingertips? Is that
well, I
too?
mean, if that's okay for you. That's,
I mean,
you know, we got to keep up with your personal
collateral
maintenance.
damage here.
Well, and also, you don't really want to reduce this down, but you do want to take the alcohol out of it because there's a bitterness, there's the raw alcohol flavor. Plus, you don't want to be serving people raw alcohol, especially if you have a child in your family.
Yeah. But that's where I can just get the marshmallows out right now and just kind of like just do like a little, you know,
yes,
marshmallows.
You could.
Here. No.
But you also could do this the day in advance if you're trying to do it for a special sit-down event for your family or your friends. You could burn the alcohol off in advance, and then you have no problem with keeping up with this. So while they're there, although people do like fire.
I like that part too, because that's where we're going to take a break, because while I go tell the fire marshal that they're not needed, when we come back, we definitely 100% no doubt about it, we'll be waffling ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. My guest in the kitchen today is Chef Anne Kearney from Oak Ola in Tampa, and she's sharing a fan favorite recipe retired from their menu, but available to you. We're making waffles, but Mrs. Butterworth is not invited to this party, as we're making them with a goat cheese and sautéed mushrooms and shallots. Now, before the break, we whisked up our waffle mixture, combining flour, cornstarch, salt, white pepper, baking soda, and baking powder with our wet ingredients of 2 eggs, buttermilk, and avocado oil. Then we prepared it with our goat cheese, which we then mixed with a little bit of half and half and a little salt and pepper. And after all that, we started our topping by sautéing shallots with some salt and pepper, and literally burned off the alcohol for some heated Madeira wine, which is just resting to the side, and nobody was burned in the process.
Yes, and we don't want to reduce that too much because that is the sauce base that we will liquefy this at the very end with.
Now, inside of our pan here, we started with just those shallots there.
Right.
What have you added already into this?
Well, we reduce the shallots down. Depends on your personal preference. If you want them super caramelized, add a little more sweetness. The Madeira has a fair amount of sweetness with it. So if you wanted to just wilt them, just to knock the raw off them and just have a nice shallot flavor, that's great. These got a little caramelized, which there's nothing wrong with. I have 4 different types of mushrooms that we're cooking with today. And 2 of them were purchased at the St. Petersburg Farmers Market.
Nice.
And 1 was purchased at Whole Foods, yes.
All right. So then locally accessible, it sounds like, too. Because sometimes that's like, people get a little afraid of mushrooms. 1, because just because of the fear of mushrooms. 2, it's that approachability of mushrooms. But there's an accessibility, and mushrooms should be, you know, at least tried and embraced.
Well, I think that if you were raised eating a domestic, you know, white mushroom, button mushroom, or a cremini, you haven't really given your mushrooms a good chance. I like all types of mushrooms, even the ones that are more readily available, but they don't really taste like much. These were not grown in manure. These are grown hydroponically in little cells, and then they cut off the whole bundle. So this is just a part of a bundle. This bundle was this big when I got this.
So cool.
And this is a black pearl. And it is, you can just tear these little pieces off here and add it to this, because that would be, for me, if I was getting an appetizer at a restaurant or as a guest at someone's home and they were having me for dinner, I'd be like, check out these mushrooms.
Right?
These are awesome. So we got some of them in there, got started wilting. And these are all mild flavor, but they have more personality, personally, than the domestic mushrooms that we're used to using. So everyone has its own personality. The hen of the woods are a little bit more delicate, so they need to not be torn apart too much, because they're going to come apart all on their own. I like to leave them in little bundles.
Okay.
Given each mushroom has its own personality. This is a king trumpet.
That one is. That's a king trumpet.
This is from Fungi Joe's at the St. Petersburg Farmers Market. They have 13 different types of mushrooms. I bought 2 different types there.
I love it.
And I've purchased some other ones, because I eat at least a pound of mushrooms a week in my own personal home prep, because I love them. They're meaty. They take on flavor. Whatever you're cooking with them, they're amplified by those flavors, and so not a bad thing at all.
Not a bad thing at all, and not a bad thing is to grab Chef Anne's recipe for these wonderful waffles. Head to dinnerdeas.com. We have all the steps laid out with all the amounts and ingredients, and they're ready to print. Just scan the QR code on the screen.
Wonderful.
Now, how long do these need?
Well, the mushrooms are pretty dry, so I'm going to just continue to turn them and let's see if they can release some of their natural juices. In this, I added white and black pepper. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Black pepper has more of a defined flavor, and white pepper is spicier. So be careful when you're working with it. So we're going to get this going. What do we say? Got a light on over here, like we're ready. Awesome. We're going to get a waffle or two, a waffle or two going. So we're going to brush it with a little bit of neutral oil. You can use a spray if you'd like. I personally like a little bit of avocado oil. And then I don't like a full-size waffle. I like 2 ounces of batter, so it's a Demi waffle, because this dish itself is going to be a nice presence on the plate.
Okay.
So we're going to take 2 ounces of the waffle, or you're going to take 2 ounces of the waffle batter and just ladle it in there. Yes, awesome.
And you like them quite crispy.
I do. I like them crispy because they're the vehicle. So the vehicle for the dish to go out to the dining room or to your guest.
And you said 2 ounces.
2 ounces is perfect. Okay. And then we're going to take it, and it doesn't look full because it's not. We're going to flip this over. And if you had a timer in your mind, you would set it, I don't know, for a few minutes.
See, that's why we've got Alexa. That's why we've got the QR code. That's why we've got everything working for us.
Oh my goodness, I don't know, Alexa. Do you have Alexa? Alexa, set a minute for 2 minutes.
Are you
set a timer for 2 minutes.
Holden, my son, when he's cooking in the kitchen, that's all he lives by. It's like, Alexa, do this, do that with me. And it's just like,
imagine.
Buddy, I thought it was just father-son moment. Now we're throwing Alexa in. I think my wife's going to be jealous or something.
Oh my goodness.
While our waffles crisp up and our mushrooms cook down, we're taking a break. When we come back, tips for the perfect plating of this delicious idea for dinner ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. Today we're joined by Chef Anne Kearney from Tampa's Oak Ola, and she's sharing an idea she's described as savory goodness all around. It's waffles, but a little step up from the kind that you make at a motel breakfast here. We're making buttermilk waffles with goat cheese and sautéed mushrooms and shallots. You just added the Madeira.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yes, that is awesome. Thank you for recognizing that.
I mean, like, that is like the best part about this. It's all these flavors because it's got to be around this beautiful waffle. Is this waffle to your liking? Is this the color
that's
and
perfect.
And crunch
That's
that you're looking
perfect.
for?
Yeah, that's got a nice crunch to it for sure.
Okay.
Thank you for putting that on the plate. That's great. So throw in a few knobs of butter.
Okay, so then the Madeira went in, knobs of butter went in.
Yep, and we're going to put a little fresh thyme. And it might be close to being seasoned right. We've been seasoning it along the way, but I'm going to put a little bit more black pepper. We'll just put a little pinch of salt.
A little salt.
If it's too salty, we'll add the unsalted butter. You can cook with salted butter, but if you cook with salted butter, modify how much salt you add to the dishes. So if you don't have unsalted butter in your refrigerator, don't go out and buy it. Just modify how much you're seasoning along the way.
Okay.
Because we season in layers at the restaurant and at home. So you're not just opening up with just a...
Yeah, no one wants just pure salt. I mean...
Well, you know what I mean.
Hard
what
work.
I mean is, but you want things to be seasoned. You don't just put something down and season the top of it. You want to season the sides of it and the bottom of it. It's like, well, if each component has a little pinch of seasoning, then you're happy. All right. Well, how are we doing? We can bring that over here.
That looks absolutely ready for you on this side here. I'll put that right there.
Okay. Would you continue to melt that butter in for me?
I will.
Taking this waffle, going to smear it, and you want to get a little bit of this ghost cheese kind of smeared around, because what you want is a little ghost cheese in each bite, right?
I love that.
Who wouldn't want to do that? And I'll put a little extra in the middle there.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so want to give this a taste? Are you up for tasting it?
Oh, I always am.
Okay, well here, I'm going to taste it first and give you the taste.
Okay.
It could use a little another amount of butter or not. If you want it to be a little bit softer, kind of a little butteriness to come out in that. Are you good with this?
I can see why you would like to put that butter in there.
I'm going to leave it alone because.
But I can understand if we don't and we just go straight in, and I'm just going to take like the bigger spoon and just start scooping it all just to go, because that is so good.
So we're going to take these mushrooms and we're going to stack them up on top, and a little bit of that. You want to make sure you have enough for 4 portions, or 6 or 8, or however many it is you decided you wanted to do.
I mean, one really big one over here, one over there for you. That makes 2 right there.
This is a little pecorino romano, not necessary, but it is always fun to put a little something extra on your food.
Okay.
For a little stinky sweet sheep's milk.
I like that.
There you go. Can you smell that?
Gosh, Oh my
I
God.
don't mean to, I'm being braggadocious. That's not very attractive.
Yeah, no, you should brag
My
about this
mother- my
because
mother
to
would be
grab the
shocked.
recipe for Chef Anne's majestic mushroom and waffles, head to dinnerdeas.com, scan the QR code, which we have up on the screen. Because when we come back, Chef Anne and I will be tasting this delicious
Can you
dinner
believe it?
or beautiful brunch. I don't know, maybe it's a lovely lunch.
It is, it
but
could
it's an
be
absolute
either.
work of art. And that's ahead on Dinner DeeAs.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. Chef Anne Kearney is with us today from Oak Ola at Tampa's Armature Works, and she's been sharing a long-lost dish from their menu, a staple, the OG. One of my favorites, too, by the way.
Wonderful.
Buttermilk waffles with the goat cheese and sautéed mushrooms and shallots.
It may come back as a special. You never know.
I love it.
But if it's not, the recipe is available, and people can make it at their home. And you don't have to buy the really high-end expensive mushrooms. Maybe buy some creminis to balance out the cost of the nicer ones. But do yourself a favor and try some of the nicer, more quality varieties of mushrooms that are available to us.
I absolutely love it. Thanks again to Chef Anne. Grab the recipe for this dish and a link to Oak Ola at dinnerdeas.com. And while you're there, please make sure to try their English toffee pudding cake. You can thank me later. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time with more Dinner DeeAs.
Thank you very much.